get our acceleration. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Provo for providing us with this Overland. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Now, under the hood of the Limited, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 293 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Let's go over the front end of the Overland. So first and foremost, you've got the signature Jeep hood there at the top with the little Jeep logo right next to it. And then we've got these full LED lights, which if you look very closely, you can see a little old school Jeep there in the headlight itself, which is pretty neat. Fog lights just down below. And then you've got Jeep's signature front grille, again, finished in chrome because it's supposed to be like a luxury trim being the Overland. And then we've got these chrome tow hooks here at the bottom. But other than that, that is everything for the front end of the Overland. Coming around the side here, we've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. And I actually really like the design on the wheels. Kind of reminds me of gears. But you guys might not be able to see this on camera. You can see you've got like the dark gray portion of the wheel. Obviously, you have the chrome on the outside, but it's just really cool how intricate it actually is. And the Overland does come with air suspension, so you can adjust the ride height. We've got the Grand Cherokee logo right there. And then you can see you've got the chrome mirror cap with the chrome door handles there on the side. But there is our full side view. Let's actually pop into the back of the Grand Cherokee. So you can see we've got this full cargo cover here in the rear, which just attaches to this back part on the trunk area. And then just underneath this little portion, we've got the spare tire. But overall storage space back here is actually really solid, and that's everything for the cargo area. Let's finish things up in the rear of the Overland. So you can see we've got the signature LED lights that come with all of the Grand Cherokees. Got your Overland badge back there, parking sensors all along the rear. And then we do have the receiver hitch. Towing capacity is about 6,200 pounds with the Overland. Dual exhaust tips as well. But other than that, that is everything for the back of the Overland. Now it's actually coming to the back of the Overland. So you have this really nice dark wood trim, which looks just, again, really nice. And then we've got this soft touch right here with the contrasted stitching all throughout. And then here are the seats in the back of the Overland. For some reason, that headrest was popped down, but really nice leather. You've got nice perforations all throughout. It's actually really soft to the touch. Got all the stitching all throughout. And I guess we have one of the license plates holders, but let's actually pop in. So step in height. It's actually pretty easy to get back here with the Overland, if you're wondering, about 5'11". And then I've got my legroom. Now, the seat is pushed back because it has memory seats. So once I start it up, the seat will be closer to what this other seat's at. And then you can see down here, we've got the little vents right there. And then you actually do get heated seats. You got a power outlet, a couple of USBs as well. And then we've got some cup holders here with the armrest, and this is the back of the Overland. Here's the front door of the Overland. Again, you've got more of that wood trim, and then you have all of the soft touch all along here. You're going to rest your arm. Just looks really nice. Window controls, and then you have the mirror controls. And yes, the mirrors do power fold in with the Overland. And then you can see this also does have the Harman Kardon sound system. You've got the memory seats right there. And then coming to the front seats, again, really nice leather. You've got the little Overland thing right there. And then, yeah, you can just see the bolsters, everything just really nice to the touch. Really nice to look at as well. Adjustments are on the side of the seat. And then we can see our pedal layout there at the bottom. You've got your little latch to open up the hood, light controls right here, and then this actually releases the gas cap. The steering wheel is automatically adjustable. And there's one more look before we pop in. Here's the steering wheel for the Overland. You've got the really nice wood trim there at the top, and then you have the soft touch leather on the sides and the bottom as well. And then you've got the nice stitching that goes all throughout. It's kind of like a grayish color. Cruise control here on this side. On the other side, you got the controls for the center stack, voice command controls. There are radio controls in the back. This is for the volume, and then you've got the channel on the other side. And then you do have the little stalk for the windshield wipers, but Other than that, that is the steering wheel in the Overland. Now here's the center gauge cluster for the Overland. You've got the RPMs on the left side, and the right side you've got the temperature and the fuel gauge, and then you do have that screen in the center that give you different bits of information on the Overland itself. Pretty straightforward in terms of the use on it, but I'll just leave it to be a digital speedo. And you can see it says the entry exit. That's the current ride height, so right now we're at the lowest ride height with the Overland. Now here's the center infotainment system for the Overland. First off, when we pop it in reverse, you can see the backup camera with the trajectory lines. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use in general. Resolution's also good. For the rest of the screen, you can see we've got the controls tab. That's for your heated and cooled seats. Pretty nice little thing to have there. Now you do get a dual zone climate here in the Overland as well. You got the navigation function, which you can see everything pretty much loads up really quickly, and you can scroll through the rest of the stuff. Again, really easy to use. This does come with the off-road pages. Shows you different bits of information in terms of your off-road status, and then notice at the top shows you the time, temperature outside, and then what your seats are currently set at. It's cool. It shows you a little Jeep going across and actually going off-road. And then you can see you've got the stuff like the steering angle right there, and then you can go to your suspension so you can see how high your suspension is. You've got your pitch and your roll, the accessory gauges as well, and then also information on your terrain select. We've got all of our analog radio controls here, and then your analog climate controls right next to it. Again, dual zone climate. You've got your stability control for the drive modes. Right now it's in eco. That's normal. And then if you press the sport, that'll pop it into sport mode. And then popping over here, again, you've got the sport mode right there. And then we have this little thing right here, which is just some extra storage with a couple of USBs. Now I've got some cool stuff in here. We've got the shifter for that 8-speed automatic, and you can shift the gears yourself if you would like. Pretty straightforward use on that. Couple of cup holders. Coming over here, we've got our terrain select, which will actually pop up here on this part. So you can pop over into the sand, and then you've got the snow mode. And then over on the other side, you've got the mud, and then you've got the rock, which would be for rock crawling, or you can just leave it in auto. And then coming over here, we've got our 4-wheel low and then our hill descent control. And by the way, when you go into different drive modes, it'll actually cause the air suspension to change. So like if you're in the rock crawl mode, it's gonna pop it up to the highest setting so you have better clearance for the Grand Cherokee, which is pretty neat. But yeah, this is where you actually raise and lower the suspension for the Grand Cherokee. We've got our center console here, which you've got the little top portion, and then you grab the lower tab, and then that'll open it up all the way with a 12 volt inside of it. More of that really nice dark wood trim. And then coming over the glove box, it's all lined with felt, but I love how the interior all comes together, and they do the nice stitching on the dash as well, so it just all looks really nice. Now up top here, we've got the controls for the sunroof. Now you do get a full panoramic sunroof here in the Overland, and the controls for it are just right there. Universal garage door opener as well. This is just to pop open the tailgate, and we've got a sunglass holder. And that's all. Now that we're done going over the interior on the Overland, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Overland stickers for about $52,000, almost $53,000 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this Overland out and see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility here in this Grand Cherokee Overland. So you can see visibility over the hood, really good. And then again, that's nice stitching on the dash. There's your visibility through both the mirrors. And remember, they do have blind spot monitoring on them. And then you've got visibility all throughout the rear as well. So just in general, visibility is really good. And that all being said, let's set off. Well, let's actually initially set off here in the Grand Cherokee Overland. And first off, the handling is actually pretty good. Definitely feels like a smaller type SUV. And going over that little rut there doesn't upset it whatsoever. But yeah, really quiet in this interior. Definitely has more of like a luxury car feel to it. And we'll see how the brakes are coming up to here. Yeah, pretty good with the brakes on top of that. And oh man, we have hit this Provo traffic. Thing that's bad about Provo traffic, this is a side note, is not only is there a lot of cars, there's a lot of really bad drivers down here. That's all I gotta say. Like, you have to be like, you just gotta look out for yourself, guys. Word of advice if you ever come to Provo, Utah. Now we are initially getting up and going here with the Overland, and we'll kind of see how it does at a little bit higher speeds with the ride quality and everything. Yeah, that stuff doesn't upset it as much as I thought it would, but I definitely do notice a ride quality difference. So I just drove a Limited right before this, and I can feel quite a bit more coming through in terms of just stuff coming through with the suspension. I thought this might ride smoother with the air suspension, but with those 20-inch wheels compared to the 18s that are on the Limited, this actually does I mean, it's smoother when you're not going over things, but like as soon as you hit like a bump or something, definitely upsets this a lot more than it did with the limited and the standard suspension. But handling's really good on this. I feel like it's a little bit sharper than the limited, and that makes sense because you can have a little bit of a lower ride height, and then also the bigger wheel might be a part of that too. But let's actually pop it into the sport mode right here, and then we're also going to pop it into the manual mode. And oh man, I thought I was going to get a green light, didn't make it in time, guys. I'm in the aerodynamic ride height now, which is pretty neat. But yeah, so far this is actually really nice. It does a really good job as a luxury car, but then it also does just a really good job as just a daily usability car. And usability is not a word, but let's get our acceleration. Yeah, acceleration is really solid. Those gear shifts are really quick. The transmission definitely carries this. I'm excited to drive one of the newer ones with the Hemi just so I can kind of compare it with the V6 and everything. And I am no longer going to wear my Apple Watch during car reviews because that thing keeps beeping like crazy. But anyways, yeah, downshifts are really quick as well. It's just really responsive in general. It does just a really good job. Let this person go by. Yeah, those gear shifts are very quick and seamless. So let's actually get into summing things up with this Overland. I think this Overland's a great luxury package. I'm a little bit disappointed on the ride quality side of things. I thought that it'd be a little bit smoother than the Limited that I just drove, because the Limited is supposed to be less luxury, but that's not the case. The seats are really nice as well with this, which is another nice little thing. And the other thing that's really nice is the exterior. I love how they've kind of differentiated the styling with the extra chrome elements that this actually has. And then on top of that, I love the fact that the interior is just so nice with the seats and with all the nice material used with the dark wood trim. All of that just looks and feels really nice. So if you're looking for like a luxury Grand Cherokee, this is definitely going to be the package to go for. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram here in Provo for providing us with this Grand Cherokee. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.